back to my channel. Thanks so much for tuning in. Last week I received this package from this UK-based brand called Cohorted, and what they sent me was all the brushes in their Ovale collection. If you aren't familiar with Cohorted's Ovale collection, basically they're just these oval brushes that have been fairly popular over social media for the past few months. They sent me 10 different brushes, and I posted a tutorial on my Instagram using just these. And I was pretty pleased with how the look looked, but I did get a few questions from some people asking me whether I prefer these brushes or a beauty blender. Now, ever since reading that question, I've kind of been preparing mental arguments for and against the beauty blender. So I thought I'd get up a little review just to help any of you that are considering buying any oval brushes. I did do half of my face, so I tried to use as many oval brushes as I could on this half, and I tried to use as much beauty blender as I could over here. I'm pretty sure I messed up and confused between the two at some point, but the gist of it is there, okay? I tried. My general verdict would be that with the Ovale collection brushes, it's a lot easier to use a lot more product. So anything that you want more pigmentation or more coverage, the oval brushes work much better. Like for me, I like to have my foundation as full coverage as possible because I have uneven skin tones, you know, acne, hyperpigmentation, scarring, everything. I like to get as full coverage out of my foundation as I can with as few pumps as possible. Now, with the oval brush, as much product as I put on my brush or my face, it's going to stay on my face. But with the beauty blender picks product up. Now, which one you're going to prefer is going to depend on you. So if you're like me and you want full coverage and you want to cover everything up, you don't really care how it looks up close, and you know, if you have like a nice foundation with a good finish, the oval brush is going to be better for you for foundation. But if you're the type of person that's really iffy about how makeup feels in your skin, or you're not used to wearing makeup and you just want to not feel that it's there and you don't really care about the coverage, then you'll definitely enjoy the beauty blender more. It gives a more natural finish, but using an oval brush is a lot more true to the finish of the actual foundation. I used an oval brush to do my eyebrows, and I found that it made it a lot easier to do than using a normal brush, such as the one that I normally would use is the number 12 brush by Anastasia. I will generally just be using the oval brush. See, this eyebrow is with the oval brush, and this one is with the Anastasia brush. Now, obviously, this one looks a lot more precise, a lot more darker, but I feel like this kind of eyebrow only looks good when you're in front of a camera and in front of really, really bright lights. If you're going out in person, honestly, this is as dark as I would take my eyebrow in person. One advantage that I would say that the beauty blender definitely has over the oval brushes is that it's amazing for blending. So I cream contoured a little bit, and using my beauty blender made it a lot easier for me to blend out the highlight and the contour and blend those two in together. But on the side that I used just the oval brush, it was a little bit harder just because the brush is really, really dense, and I'm not really sure if it's made to give you a flawless blend, because I'm sure you could achieve that with the oval brushes, but it just takes a lot more time and a lot more effort and a lot more than it would if you were using a beauty blender. Now, the Ovale collection comes in the kind of two packs. I think one of them is meant to be for your face, and then the other one is meant to be for your eyes and your lips. Now, I did use the lips to apply my lipstick before moving on to the applicator. I think it made it a little bit easier for me, but I don't think I can recommend that for everyone because I don't think that I have very small lips. I mean, compared to people on social media, yeah, probably. But in real life, I think my lips are pretty medium-sized. Quite a lot of people do have lips that are smaller than mine, and if you try to use that kind of brush to apply your lipstick, you're really going to have a hard time because even with, you know, my lips kind of like towards the medium to small size, I found that the lipstick was coming out if I used, you know, the circle applicator oval brush thing. And then talking about the eye brushes now. The oval brushes, it's really difficult to achieve that kind of like flawlessly blended look. Like if you want to do like a double cut crease with the smoky lower lash line and inner corner, all of that is going to be a lot easier achieved with normal brushes as opposed to the oval brushes. So maybe that could be because I have more practice with the normal brushes, but I generally find that no matter how much you move the oval brushes around, if you're trying to blend a transition color into a darker color, it's a lot easier with a normal blending brush. And again, the reason for that is because the normal blending brush picks up less product and it transfers less product, but the oval brushes really transfer all the product, like all of it. Another thing I would say is that with the Beauty Blender, it's really not recommended to work with powders unless, you're using it to set your bake or something. I mean, you can't really powder contour with the Beauty Blender, but with the oval collection brushes that you can. It's possible. It's not the best way to do it, but it's possible. You can totally do that if you want to. In terms of what you can do with the brushes, I mean, if you look at the brushes as a set of 10 brushes, what all of these 10 brushes can do is obviously a lot more than what one Beauty Blender can do. These, honestly, I can do a full face with this and it'll look pretty good. Normally, when I do my makeup using other normal brushes, I do end up using more than 10 brushes, so that's a plus. You could just, there's really a lot of empty space in this box. You can just pack them up and take them with you. But speaking individually, like each of these brushes can do maybe 2, 3 things. When you compare that to the Beauty Blender really is capable of a lot more. So it would give you, so when being assessed individually, the Beauty Blender is capable of a lot more, but if you're looking at it as a group, definitely the oval brushes can achieve more, which is kind of obvious. I mean, yeah, you have 10 brushes compared to one tool, that you would expect better results. Now, when speaking of price, the Beauty Blender costs $20 US, and these brushes cost a lot more, and the price varies depending on how you buy them, if you buy the 2 sets or if you buy one by one, but they are a lot more expensive than the Beauty Blender, and for good reason. I mean, I really like the quality of the brushes. They're really, really good, and I like the finish that they give me. I prefer to use these oval collection brushes over the Beauty Blender in pretty much all aspects, except when I'm blending out my cream contour or my concealer. For everything else, like, my eyebrows, setting my bake, applying my foundation, all that kind of stuff, I do prefer the oval collection brushes, but I feel like the difference really comes down to you, because think of the difference kind of like, the difference between a sewing machine that you get from the department store, which is like, $50, and probably more, but anyway. And the difference between an industrial sewing machine that, companies that mass produce stuff would have, Obviously, the industrial one will have more perks, it'll cost more, but it will be able to do more, but everyone is not going to need an industrial sewing machine, you know what I mean? So, while the oval brushes, I do think are capable of a lot more, and they do give you a nicer finish in most of the cases, you get more full coverage, you end up using a lot less product, because you get more pigmentation out of your product. I don't think they're for everyone. There's definitely a learning curve with them, and they're definitely something that you would like if you're a professional with makeup, using them with different clients. You would get more use out of the set, but if you're someone that just does your makeup, very quickly, you don't really care about the full glam kind of stuff, you're just going out to work, you just want to have your foundation on, maybe a little bit of mascara and lipstick, a Beauty Blender should do you fine. I've used a Beauty Blender for the past 3 years, and my only complaint with it ever was that getting full coverage out of my foundation was really tough. If you do have that kind of trouble getting full coverage with your Beauty Blender, you can just buy any one oval brush, just one to apply your foundation. You don't have to buy a set of like 10. I do recommend the face oval brushes a lot more than the eyes one, just because maybe it's because I'm more comfortable using normal brushes for my eyes, but I found that that gave a better effect. even if it took a little bit more time, it was very, very difficult to blend between one dark color and one like medium tone color using the Oval Collection brushes, but again, they don't market themselves as the perfect eye brushes, you know? So I think the ideal combination would be any one, maybe two, if you know you're like iffy about the size. Like for example, I would recommend maybe this one, which is the biggest one, and then this one, which is, I think this is the third biggest one. So you can reach different parts of your face, and then if there's any places that you feel like you apply too much, or you want to blend out your concealer or cream contour, you can just go in with your beauty blender. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you did, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It would make the world of a difference to me. I feel like I haven't been in the middle of the screen since our video. I'm sorry if that bothers you, but it does bother me. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful. It would make the world of a difference to me. And feel free to check out my other videos and follow me on all my social media. I'm a lot more active on Instagram, so make sure you follow me on there. Thank you so much for watching again, and I hope you have a nice day.